The coroner has identified the 20-year-old woman killed in a Lexington crash. Coming up, we have a warning for...
Sirens in Lexington last night warned people of a possible tornado, but that wasn't the case. Find out what went wrong and what emergency management wants residents to learn from this. I'm Miranda Combs. The story coming up.
Normally, red kettlebells signify donations, but today is about so much more. The Salvation Army wants to pray for you.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon and welcome in on this Christmas Eve from WKYT News. I'm Rebecca Smith in for Barbara Bailey.
And I'm Bill Bryant, and here's what's happening at noon. At least 9 people are dead after record warm temperatures fueled some severe storms in the south.
Powerful winds, several tornadoes destroyed homes, toppled trees, leaving dozens of people hurt. Omar Villafranca has reaction from survivors in our top story at noon.
This tornado in Clarksdale, Mississippi was one of several that raked across the southeast Wednesday. Unusually warm air fueled the powerful storms.
I'm just thankful that our lives are saved.
Tim Marbury and his family escaped injury, but there's little left of his Como, Mississippi home.
Just trying to salvage our clothes that is still dry.
The storms destroyed dozens of houses and knocked out power to thousands. Torrential rain and hail also made driving hazardous. This twister in nearby Holly Springs tossed several cars into the air, killing a 7-year-old boy. In Sardis, a tornado raced across Interstate 55, flipping a tractor trailer onto its side. And in Pope County, Arkansas, an 18-year-old was killed when a tree crashed into her bedroom. The severe weather threat is shifting east today.
There will be a risk of tornadoes all the way across the southeast, damaging wind gusts with these clusters that develop and continue right on through the afternoon and early evening.
Survivors of Wednesday's storm say they're grateful for what they still have.
I'm going to sit in my nice house tonight and think about that. There's people that are not going to go home. You're not going to have a house to go to.
The same areas could see more severe storms on Christmas. Omar Villafranca, CBS News.
Record warm temperatures are following in the wake of the storms. New York City could see record-breaking highs in the mid-70s on Christmas Eve. Well, heavy storms also blasted northern Kentucky, injuring a couple inside their mobile home. Pendleton County search and rescue crews say powerful winds flipped a trailer upside down. First responders found the victims trapped inside beneath furniture and other debris. The man was able to crawl out through a window, but his wife had to be cut out. Both were treated for minor injuries. Our Victor Puente will have reaction from the homeowner in a report on WKYT News at 12:30.
And if you thought you heard tornado warning sirens sounding off during the storms in Lexington last night, you were not mistaken about that. The city's emergency sirens did go off, leading many to think that there was a tornado warning, or at least a watch, even though neither was ever issued. WKYT's Miranda Combs has been looking into that. She continues our top story team coverage with a reaction from emergency management about the issue.
I just talked to the spokesperson with emergency management. He says they're still trying to figure out why the tornado siren went off last night instead of the severe thunderstorm chime. John Bobel says somewhere along the line the siren got triggered instead of the chime. He says it will take a few days with the holidays to figure out what went wrong. The siren last night obviously alarmed a lot of neighborhood residents who were getting mixed messages considering the tornado siren was going off, but there were no warnings like that from other outlets, which raises a point for emergency management. They want to use this opportunity to remind people that the sirens and chimes placed in certain parts of Fayette County were never designed to warn people in their homes. They are meant to warn those who were outside in earshot of the sirens, like here at this park in Pleasant Ridge, to let people know they need to find cover. Bobel says they should have an answer as to what went wrong last night by the beginning of next week. In Lexington, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
Miranda, thank you very much. There are 3 types of sirens, by the way. A long, steady tone signals a chemical or community emergency of some sort. A siren that comes on and goes off is a tornado warning, and a chime sound is for severe thunderstorms. Well, the storms have moved out of the Bluegrass area, at least for the time being. It's left behind warmer than usual temperatures for sure. It's crazy for this time of year. Heavy rain now expected to return in time for Christmas Day. WKYT's Mike Linden is live now in our First Alert Weather Center with a look ahead. Mike?
Well, good morning, Bill. We are truly looking at some wonderful weather out there right now. A nice break between what we saw overnight last night and what's to come. Right now, looking at our live sky camera, looking toward the Hamburg area. I mean, this is beautiful right now. We are seeing some very thin clouds in some spots in Kentucky this morning or this afternoon, but regardless, just a great afternoon so far is upon us as most of the heavy rain has pushed off to our east. Now, we are looking at some big changes on the way as we head into Christmas. I'm tracking more heavy rain, not only for the holiday tomorrow, but for the next several days. Coming up, I'll take you hour by hour and show you when and where we'll see that rain.
Well, we are learning more about the victim of a deadly crash in Lexington. It happened on Winchester Road at Elkhorn near the interstate around 10:30 last night. 20-year-old Sarah Ramirez was killed when her car was hit by a semi during the storms. WKYT's Mark Barber has more from the family's heartbreaking loss just days before Christmas.
For many families, Christmas Eve is the day when you start coming together with your loved ones to celebrate Christmas. However, this will likely be a very painful and difficult day for Soraya Ramirez's family because they will have to start planning the 20-year-old's funeral. Ramirez was killed around 10:30 last night when a semi-truck crashed into her on Winchester Road. She was the passenger in a car that was trying to turn left onto Elkhorn Road. The driver was hurt and he was rushed to UK Hospital. He is expected to survive. It was raining hard during the crash, but officers don't know if the slick roads are to blame. We have learned the driver of the semi-truck will not be charged. While investigators tell WKYT they don't know a lot about Ramirez or her driver, they do know she recently moved from Las Vegas to Lexington. As more drivers are starting to hit the roads today, state police have a warning for people traveling for Christmas. They say this year they have already counted 72 more deaths on the road than they did this time last year. Police are asking anyone who will be traveling this Christmas to be smart behind the wheel, to buckle up, drive defensively, and slow down. They don't want to work another fatal crash. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
And state police tell us if you wear your seatbelt, you'll reduce your risk of dying during a crash by nearly 50%. We now know the name of a man who was found dead in central Kentucky. The Harrison County coroner has identified the victim as 33-year-old Billy Combs Jr. of Cynthiana. His body was found Tuesday night on the edge of the South Fork of the Licking River. According to our partners at the Herald Leader, it's still exactly not clear how Combs died.
Well, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin will make his first budget request to the State General Assembly on January 26th and reveal how he wants more than $20 billion in tax money spent. He will have just had 2 months since he was elected to craft a plan to account for the state's soaring public pension and expanding Medicaid population as well. Bevin ran as a political outsider and has never held public office. He issued a statement earlier this month complaining that he was facing a financial crisis, he says, left behind by former Governor Steve Beshear. And this week, Governor Bevin also issued a hiring freeze in state government. Well, if you are in need of a miracle this Christmas, the Salvation Army says it wants to help.
The community is invited to drop prayer requests and donations into the Red Kettle during its Miracle on Main Street event today. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is live there with more on exactly how this works.
It certainly doesn't feel like Christmas outside. There's no doubt about that. But when you hear these bells sounding, they normally signify a donation area, but they have a whole new meaning today. Today marks the Salvation Army of Lexington's first ever Miracle on Main Street event. Today is the last day of the Army's Red Kettle campaign. They're still about $25,000 shy of their $350,000 fundraising goal. And while they are still accepting those monetary donations, today they want prayer requests from the community. Those traveling can stop by the downtown location and drop donations or prayer requests into a very large red kettle. Cheerful bell ringers are outside, and so are some prayer warriors. We spoke with Rebecca McKinley, who is volunteering her time to pray for strangers during this holiday season.
It doesn't make any difference if I know them or not. I can pray for a name, and I can just almost picture them in their home or wherever they are, or in a hospital, and I can see God coming close to them and being near to them at this time.
Prayer requests have come from members of the community. We've also seen a lot of prayer requests come from the Salvation Army shelter residents in Lexington. Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Well, Miracle on Main Street continues through 4 o'clock today. Prayer requests and donations can be dropped off at any Red Kettle location. Santa Claus has already started his annual journey around the world, delivering toys to all the good girls and boys. And we can help you track his trip online to find out when he'll be stopping by your house. Volunteers with the North American Aerospace Defense Command, also known as NORAD, are monitoring Santa's trip. They're also answering phone calls and emails today. We have a link to NORAD's Santa Tracker on WKYT.com. He was last spotted in Maldives and is on his way to India.
All right, that worldwide journey is underway. Keep it here on WKYT. Black Lives Matter protesters rally against a police shooting in Minneapolis. Find out how officers are trying to crack down on demonstrations today that could disrupt holiday travel. It's next on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, Kentucky native and actor Johnny Depp, apparently Hollywood's worst investment of the year. We'll explain inside Entertainment.